Let's get this kicking, boys. So we have a max DPS rush with a scimitar on the Volta side. So double Sleipnir, triple Gila. I'm actually glad to see them back. And a scimitar with support versus another drone comp.
Yeah, I believe
Very
that's the same
interesting.
drone comp as what they brought before, exactly the same. So even though it's the
Yeah.
open, they still don't really want to show anything too much. But I mean, there's not
Oh,
really too much to show here. This is a fairly standard 2 EOS 3 stars. It's pretty run of the mill.
I'm loving the
Um,
Gilas here. Like honestly, like I was surprised we didn't see more like Gilas and stuff like that in these rush comps because Gilas are disgusting ships. They bring a lot of tank. They bring a lot of damage. It's just brutal to verse them. And of course, if you're a frigate near a Gila, all it takes is one lucky shot to obliterate most of your shield, armor, and hull. I hate them so much.
yeah, I feel like the Gilas, compared to other pirate cruisers, so I think the Orthrus is 8, other pirate cruisers like the Phantasm are 9, and the Gila is 11. But I actually think that's a fairly accurate value of their worth. I think the Gila at 11 is still a viable choice, even with its increase. It's just that strong compared to the
Absolutely,
others. I think it's really, really
exactly
good.
that. Exactly. Like the Gila is a disgusting ship. It is absolutely broken. I'm also this means nothing to none of you guys, but there's a guy called Yours Blank in the V0LTA, and I know him from my time in Eve, which is so awesome. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, we've also got
Sorry.
Planet 6, as Ithaca mentioned, showing up. He's going to be the absolute Logi
Oh yeah,
guru of this match, putting on
it's
a
a great
clinic.
team. Like looking at the names, like you can recognize a lot of the names here, but for me, like Yours Blank is a personal one for me, so I'm glad to see you, buddy. But match is off, and we're gonna see what drones these guys popped. Are they gonna go for sentries? Yes, they do. Sentry ball immediately. Republic fleet bounces.
Yep, so the bouncers are popped, and obviously that's possibly not ideal for them having these Sleipnirs and Gilas rush in, although the Gila's probably less likely to do so. Although the Gilas do
Well,
seem to
that
actually be rushing and charging on top of the Sentry Blob, and that's not great for the Sentry Blob. The Sentry Blob's going to have difficulty tracking all these fast-moving Sleipnirs and Gilas that are right on top of them.
Yep, they're going for the scimitar at the moment, Planet 6, who's currently going straight past those drones, so making it really hard for them to hit him. I wonder if he's going to start like orbiting those drones. That'd be a pretty brutal idea, to be honest.
But on
Looks
the
like
other
nope,
side,
he's
the
going.
Oneros of Timox Zero is taking chunks. The Sleipnirs seem to be on top of him, and they're applying just fine. He's tackled down by this Svipple of crazy Vania, who's
This,
just holding him in place and serving
this
him
is
up
the
on a
brutal
platter.
part. This is the brutal
Yeah,
part of the Gilas in this comp is that they can bring ridiculously powerful drones. So if the Slipner gets a tackle, they can bring drones in and then delete the ship like they do with the Aneros. Gone.
yeah, and they have
And now
switched
this
to
got
Starfleet
triple.
Commander. They are starting to shoot this Gila, and he's struggling. He's in the middle of this sentry blob, and they're all quite on top of each other, these sentries, but they are actually a little bit of a distance from him now. So he's taking chunks of damage, but they are also
I
trading to this
believe
Ishtar of Akov.
I believe they abandoned their sentries and all dropped heavies. I can see a bunch of Praetors on the grid. Yeah, I think they actually all
Yeah, I
just
think you're right,
abandoned their
actually.
sentries.
Yeah,
Bravo, good call. That's a hard
yeah.
call to make. Know when to do that. This might work for them.
Although in this situation, I'm actually not sure if the sentries would have been better because they're not on the sentry blob anymore. They're actually, I'm not sure how far off, maybe 30k away from the sentry blob itself. So it's possible the sentries would actually still be a fine option. But I mean, the heavies are working out just fine, so I can't knock it. The Starfleet Commander goes into Holland does finally go down. And they've got
Yeah,
Control Freak in the second gear already webbed and scrammed, so he's possibly served up as well. Dirt Nap in the Ishtar finally goes down. That's a second Ishtar down now as well.
and this is the problem for them is this is a losing battle for them now. Sure, they got a Gila, which is great, but unfortunately they've lost like 2 DPS ships for one. That's not looking good. The Logi's still alive on the opposite team, so the next Gila, I'm gonna actually put my money down now, will not die. It will not go down. There's no
Yeah.
chance.
Obviously, once you kill those two Ishtars, their drones are just sitting there, very confused in space, don't know what to do, don't know what to shoot. They've got extreme short-term memory loss and just instantly
Oh
forget
god.
what they were doing.
You just gave me a horrible idea. Imagine if drones kept fighting after the ship died.
Yeah, that sounds no, I
Oh
would not
no.
like that.
Please no.
So yeah, that third Ishtar goes down. I think you may be right. I think the Gila of Control Freak is pretty happy at this point. These Purifiers obviously not really going to touch him. The bombers with torpedoes. Sunesis, not even worth considering. And the two EOSs alone are not going to be able to break through the Scimitar reps. So unfortunately for Deepwater Hooligans, this is going to be the end of their run in this single elimination open series. But good job of
This
making it to the second
purifier
round.
the purifier of Rich Stokes was just being chased by a flight of lights. You can just hear him screaming in his head trying to run away from that. Goes down, unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do. And these two EOSs left. They're pretty tanky, so they maybe, but it's not gonna happen, mate. They're gonna get picked apart, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the Imperial Navy Acolytes are signaling a sense of impending doom for this EOS, and finally this Svipple, I believe, of Zebediah, sorry, Crane gets on top of him and tackles him down. So, yeah, he's just going to shortly find an absolute convergence of Sleipnirs on top of them.
If they even need to, honestly, I'm pretty sure 2 Gears could have picked that thing apart. That's about, I think it's about 1,000 DPS just in those 4 drones. Like, they are disgusting.
Yeah, I completely agree. Healers are very, very good. I'm not sure if they're better than Orthruses. I suppose they're a slightly different role. Orthruses are kind
I
of.
can say right now, yes, they are. They are better.
I mean, yeah, I mean in terms of points, because the Orthrus is only 8 points.
Oh yeah, in terms of points, Orthros has a potential. It's why the points are like that. But
Obviously, the Gila is tankier and
exactly, and they
spray
have
and
rapid
wandering.
lights as well, so they can match the
Yeah.
Orthros's rapid light DPS as well as having painful drones. So they are
Yeah.
just like the most disgusting ship in Eve, man. You can hear my disgust. I hate them.
You certainly
All right.
do.
Well, this Eos has now. You can just see the blob coming. You can just hear the screams of the horde chasing him down. There's a Swipple doing his grace to hold him down. Notice the Swipple, by the way. I think Swipple's actually being neutered by this Eos, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. The Swipple will hold him until the last moments. And there's the rest of them. This
Yeah.
comp's been pulled apart.
Another one comes in, and another one, and another one, and suddenly he's got all of them on top of him, and there is no escape.
Oh man, 3 Swipples. It feels like the old days when they first came out.
Yeah.
Just charging Swipples. Ugh.
I'm glad they didn't bring
Alright.
4.
They didn't bring 4 Swipples. Well, that's the match over there. A very clean sweep for Volta. Congratulations, guys. And we're going to go back to the booth and chat about it again.